What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So yesterday we went fishing. We did a little bit of pond fishing. I've been doing a lot of canal fishing lately. Wanted to switch it up, and man, I'm telling you, it was a struggle. We did end up getting on some pretty freaking nice fish toward the end of the day, so stay tuned for that. They were really freaking aggressive fish. I'll tell you what, we had to just switch it up to a jig, and once we flipped it over to a jig, they just started munching it. So stay tuned, enjoy, and as always, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's go whack them. Alright, let's toss the Huddleston around a little bit. This water's extremely clear. Kind of weird, I haven't seen it this clear in probably about 4 or 5 years. It's typically got a little bit more dinge to it, where it's maybe about 1.5 foot of viz. Tell you what, this Huddleston, it looks absolutely phenomenal in the water column. Swims extremely well balanced, doesn't roll off to the side or anything, stays nice and flat. And I like it because it's a lower profile, because it's actually shaped like a shad, and on top of that, that tail just slightly kicks. It's not super aggressive, it's actually fairly subtle. So we should be able to attract a couple extra bass, especially if the bass are a little finicky today. There's one. He picked it up. It's a nice one. Oh, he popped. Oh, he popped. No. No. Oh, you son of a gun. Completely my fault. I didn't set the hook. I also didn't feel the bite. I was literally pulling it up a little ridge, and then it goes super tight, so it kind of felt like I was stuck. And so I just kind of leaned back on it instead of setting the hook just in case, and it ended up being a fish. Oh man, that sucks. That was a decent one too. He had a little strength behind him. Well, I'm very sad to say, I suck. I suck, and I could not catch a fish here. But day's not over, and we are not gonna stop fishing. Take one last cast here. Hopefully, cross our fingers, we get one bass to commit, stick, and get up on the bank. There we are. There we are. One last one. One last one. Oh, come on. Come on. Please. Oh, he's digging. Oh, he's digging. It was the last cast. It was the last cast. Oh my God, a football. A absolute football. Check that out. Spear point hooks, man. I'll tell you what, Spear point and BKK, they have become my two favorites because you always freaking hook them. Look at the girth on this fish, guys. Absolutely freaking beautiful. Let's get a better view, because there we go. Check that out. Look at that football of a bass on that drunken shad right there. One last look at her. Beautiful girthy fish. I don't know if that is her chowing down on bait fish, or if that is her full of eggs, because that fish is fat and girthy, and I got ants on me. But that was awesome. You know what that's making me think? I was working it too fast. Which, I mean, obviously anyone could have told me that, because I even kind of knew I was working it a little fast. But I was trying to get a reaction strike. Alright guys, so I went back to the car, got another GoPro battery. Saw that I had a 1/2 ounce jig on another rod. It is a black and red football jig by Copper State. It's their own brand that they make. And then I got a bottom liquor by Fat Pack Baits as the trailer, watermelon red flake. So it matches pretty good, and with the light getting lower and lower, that contrast, we're really gonna need it to pop. So that's why I was figuring, you know, the black and red should pop enough to where if there's any hungry fish, they'll come up and whack it. There used to be a bunch of fish super shallow. It's like almost an entirely different fishery now. Oh my gosh, he just picked it up off the bottom. Just freaking crushed it. Look how pale that fish is, guys. Copper State jig, Fat Pack bottom liquor, the juice. Literally 2 cast in. Check that out. Beautiful fish right there. Really pale. Let's get her back in. Man, I'll tell you what, that's what they want. They want the jig, because I'm telling you how aggressive that fish hit. I didn't even have a chance to set the hook. I did not have a chance to set the hook. Man, I even said that these fish used to be shallow, and man, I barely flipped in front of me, and he just picked it up immediately. I looked away, and I feel the rod nearly leaving my hand. And I just turned the reel because I didn't have time to set the freaking hook. That was crazy. That was so freaking sick. Man, that was crazy, guys. That fish was so aggressive. And if I lost any tension, it was coming off because he wasn't pinned very well. It's really interesting though, because every single time I've ever come here, the last, like, I don't know, 5 years or so, there's always been a fish literally right there where I just caught that one. I don't know what it is with that spot. Maybe there's a dip, a little drop off, and they just sit right there and pick it off. Oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. That was, oh man. That's a decent little fish, probably 1.5 pounds. I'll take it. Son of a gun. There we are. Got rocked right off the edge. Right off the edge. So I was rolling it off the bank, guys. Trying to keep him down. Oh crap. My idiotness almost snapped us off. My goodness. Check that out. Bottom licker. Doing it again. All right, decent little fish right there, guys. Not too bad. Let's get him on in. So I had to follow, hooked up immediately. Very next cast, I almost lost that fish because I was trying to keep him down and the line wrapped around one of these rocks and almost broke the tip. But what I did was literally cast all the way across. I kind of know where the rock stops, so I'm pulling it out almost on the edge of the rock where it drops from the rock to the silt, that little transition point. And the second I bounced off that last piece of rock, I felt the silt. I felt it like kind of grab, and then I felt that bite. That fish was literally cruising right along that rock line. That was awesome. That was so freaking sick. Let's try in this little pocket. Come on, be a little largy up in here, because that would make 3 at this spot. And then one real nice one earlier. There's one. That's a nice one. He picked it up right off the bottom. Just pure tension, swimming right at us. Just wrecking them. Thanks for the bite, dude. Guys, go to Copper Stay. Get yourselves some Copper Stay jigs. Get yourself some bottom lickers for the trailer. Watermelon, red flake. Beautiful little bass right there. Thank you for the bite. Let's get back out there. We still got a little bit of light. I'll tell you what, we're getting rocked. We got 5 bites all together. Got 3 fish up here. And this bottom licker hasn't even torn once. Not once. Let that jig drop right on the edge of the rocks. Same exact bite as over there. You just want to cast to the other side of the bank if you can. And I think they're facing up at the bank. And that is how you're going to get the bites. Because that felt like a bite right there, but I think I'm just so excited. Crazy. Freaking crazy. I know there's a pipe around here somewhere, and I don't want to get close to that pipe, because I know if I get close to that pipe, we're not going to fish. There's one. Right up on the bank. Little guy, but you know, feisty there, guys. But 4. Let's get him back in. All in just a few minutes. As I almost backlash because I'm too excited and I'm tripping out. Alright guys, so as you guys just watched, man, that first punt, it was a complete struggle. We ended up getting a nice like 2.5 pounder there, and that fish was freaking digging. The cool thing is I called my shot. I was like, come on, final bite of the day. Now granted, it wasn't like a 5 pounder or anything crazy like that, but final cast at that spot, I guess I should say, not the end of the day. Later on in that day though, we went over to another golf course right before sundown. Man, I tried the drop shot, got bit on it pretty darn quick, but ultimately I went back to the car to get the headlamp and extra GoPro batteries, and I was like, alright, you know what, let's try this jig. It's a 1/2 ounce, and it's a little bit lighter, so it's going to roll over that rock a little bit better, and it ended up just absolutely slaying. It was a black and red Copper State jig. You could go over to Copper State, pick them up, and the trailer of choice was the Fat Pack bottom licker. That bottom licker, I love how it lays in the water column because it's actually a little bit flat, so it's a little bit lower profile, which I think enhances your chance at being able to get a bite because it looks more subtle. Fish are more willing to hit it because it's more subtle. And the great thing is that Fat Pack's Jesse, he makes a bait so that the claws are always sticking up at all times, so it's always in that like defense mechanism, so that's going to draw in those bass as well. But man, we ended up getting on 4 really nice fish there, and it was pretty much back to back to back to back, and we didn't have to move around too much. We did miss 2 other fish. Ultimately, it was a fun day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and as always, we'll see you guys next time on Southwest Fishing.